So when it comes to the UK, we seem to have a bit of a migrant situation, because they're crossing our border in their thousands, whilst the Border Patrol just sit there and watch. Because this article from an illegal migrant, it says, I found getting into the UK by small boat so easy. And he says that the border force were overwhelmed. And to be fair, that kind of matches what we've seen over the years. Just a border that's completely overwhelmed. And a border force that don't know what to do. Because it says that when this guy arrived on a small boat, Border Force essentially just said, what are you doing here? And they said, what are you going to do for work? And in terms of questioning, it kind of seems like that's basically all the questions that they asked him. Because he goes on to, this is Sudanese Steve talking. These obviously aren't my words. But he says that there were too many people, and they didn't have time to ask him all the questions properly. And when he says that there were too many people, he's definitely not wrong. Because as you can see there, on that particular day, there were 2,000 other people there, just like him. And he says, to be fair, I'm surprised as well. He says that he's surprised that there wasn't an interview. So they don't even really just sit down one-to-one. They just ask you the basic questions. And if they were to do it in a massive room, where everyone's just listening to everyone else's answers, and just thinking, instead of saying, I've come here illegally, they can just say that they got work lined up. Or maybe something else that just helps them pass over the border easier. I wouldn't know. Personally, I'm not an illegal migrant. And just like half the people in this YouTube niche, I am absolutely not looking to become a migrant. But it goes on to say, as well as only being asked limited questions about his plans in the UK, so he's only getting limited questions, it says that the immigration official that he spoke to did not make any inquiries about the traffickers who had brought him to Britain. So they don't ask Sudanese Steve many questions. And of the very limited ones that they do ask, none of them include how he actually got there in the first place. Because if they want to stop one person, that's one thing. But if they stop the traffickers, they could potentially stop thousands. But for some very strange reason, the government and the immigration officials working on their behalf, apparently they simply don't care. But whilst that's the story on the border, if you want to see what actually happens when these people enter the cities, then I would highly recommend to check out this video, where you're about to see something which you have not seen before. And as always, thank you very much for becoming one of the 50,988 subscribers.
This country has gone crazy.